this is Courtney Butler. I'm the author of The Mud and the Lotus, a guide and workbook for students of yoga. I am also a solution-focused coach focusing on business, personal development, and wellness. I do use mind-body experience or yoga therapy in my work, and but what that means is not necessarily what someone might think it means. It means I use the connection of the mind and the power of our thinking to affect our actions, so to speak. So don't let that scare you. If you have a business question or personal issue that you want to talk to me about, you can find me at balanceyogaandwellness.com, and all my information for reaching me is there. Again, balanceyogaandwellness.com. So I'm going to talk to you first about, I'm going to talk to you just in general about this, is how to solve problems. And this is a little method that I learned. I want to say I found it on a coaching site on Pinterest, or when I was doing some coaching, I was looking for different methods to help me with my clients. And this is something I use really on myself more than other people. I do use it with other people, but it really is something that I like to use and helps me. And so I'm just going to share with you, to keep this brief, a problem that I'm having and how I'm trying to solve it. And I'm going to show you right here. I hope you can see this because the sun is coming in pretty hard on my office. Here's the circle, and the problem is my house. And I have a house in town for sale. We have two houses right now, and I need to sell it. It's been on the market for 8 months. And then out here, I have little solutions. Now, I'm going to tell you, some of these solutions I have written down don't exactly thrill me, but they are all solutions to the problem. They're all the thoughts I have had over what I can do to fix this problem. So the challenge is that I have a house in town for sale. It's been on the market for 8 months, but truthfully, I've only been moved out of there for about 6 weeks to a month now. So I haven't been in a really big hurry to sell it or anything like that. I have marked it down a couple of times. It is well below the appraisal value. I do know that probably a couple of the problems I face in selling the house are, the house is 86 years old, and it takes the right kind of person to want to live in an 86-year-old house, because a lot of people just assume old houses come with problems. The fact is, I have addressed all of those. I've rewired it, new heat and air, new insulation, new windows, but still old houses intimidate some people. Another issue I have is I live in a mixed neighborhood where some of the houses are very expensive, and some of the houses, there's like behind me, there's some mobile homes that were grandfathered in. They wouldn't be allowed in the city now. And my neighbors, while they're really, really nice, it's like across from me, there's a house that's like worth $254,000. Down the street from me, just like I could throw stones at houses that are about $300,000. But behind me, there are several houses and mobile homes that are probably not worth $100,000. So I definitely think that's hurting me a little bit. And then there is some development going on behind me, and people don't know that that's going to be $250,000 to $300,000 houses. They just see what's being built, you know. I really believe it's going to take the right person to come along, and that the market is slow. It's almost January. So anyway, I'm going to go through how I'm solving the problem, and I want you to think about how you can apply these same methods to yourself. So you put your problem in the circle, and then you draw out all of the different reasons or solutions that you can see to the problem. Anything you've thought of. And even if you've been like, but you know, in your mind, you're trying to solve things. And I can tell you, your mind is a wonderful place to have ideas. It is a horrible place to actually figure out what to do. You have to put it on paper. Paper is a much better place to solve things. So I'll just briefly run through these. I'll try not to take too much time. The ideas I had are, I lowered the price for quicker sale. I can tell you that right away, that makes my stomach do flips, because I'm already $15,000 below appraisal value. And I know that if I lower the price, my negotiation room is going to go down. I can't wait to sell the house at the price it is now because the season is really low, and I do think that might be a doable. I feel a little better when I think about that. Still makes my chest hurt a little. And that's part of what being a yoga therapist is. It's noticing how you feel when you have an idea or a thought. It's that mind-body connection. Okay. The next one is I can ask the realtor to come down and lower the price. So I can ask the realtor if she would be willing to take less of a percentage because we've been on the market for 8 months and it hasn't sold. And I could lower the price. And then if she comes down and I lower the price, we're kind of meeting in the middle of how much less I'm going to have to take. I could Airbnb it. I know I have a great house for Airbnb or VRBO. We live in a tourist city. It's racetrack season. It's just going to get busier. I have a 4-bedroom house. I could rent it for a lot of money. But I love my house. And even though I'm not living there, I really don't want it to get torn up. It is, 86 years old. So I just don't want to have the time of going over there and clean. My time is very valuable to me at this point. And I live about 20 minutes from that house. I don't want to have to constantly go over there and clean. And that just doesn't, and I'm going to have to buy new beds if I do that. I could rent it for 1 year. I'm going to have to go out there. I've got it staged right now and completely clean it out if I rent it for 1 year. And then I feel like I'm going to be right back in the same situation in a year that I'm in now. I could rent it for race season only, but again, that's the combination. I could rent it furnished and I could probably get a lot of money for it, but then I'm going to have to come in and clean up after somebody else. And I'm really weird about stuff like that. Like, I don't like people sleeping on my bed. I don't like to share my sheets with people. Like, if we have company, I have separate sheets, and that's just me. It's just my little idiosyncrasies, but I just don't know how I feel about that. I could sell it by owner. I think that's a great idea. It doesn't intimidate me at all from a financial standpoint or dealing with closings or anything like that. I bought my farm for sale by owner, but I would have to then make time to go meet people. And I don't really like the idea of meeting strangers in my house, especially if Jim couldn't be with me. I could change to a new realtor. I really like my realtor. She has worked really hard over the years showing me properties. I didn't end up buying any of them, but the house has shown a lot, and I don't think it's my realtor. I think that it's just the other things I told you about. So as I look at all of my solutions, and as you look at all of your solutions, what you do is you kind of talk yourself through it. And I would encourage you, though it may seem a little weird, to talk about it out loud to yourself. So you would say, like I just said, you would kind of say, well, I feel this and I feel that. This would be the upside. And as I look at this on paper, and I'll tell you, this truly is something I've been in my mind just going boop, boop, all the time, As I look at this, I see a combination of things happening here. Lower the price for quick sale, the season, and asking the realtor to come down. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my realtor to come down a few percentage points, and I'm going to lower the price, and I'm going to hang on for a few more months. And I feel like that is probably the best plan and will not take up my time. Even though it's costing me a little bit more money, I think I'll recoup some of that in a few months. And it won't stress me out having to go over there in the mornings or evenings or, and clean when I have to work. Sometimes I work every 2 weeks I have to work 14 days in a row. And so, 11 days in a row. So it's really the last thing I want to do is go clean up after people. All right. So I hope that was helpful and that showed you how you can talk about things. So as you go through each thing, notice how you feel, look it over, and then see what feels best to you, because the truth is, the part of this that is yoga therapy, yoga meaning the connection of the mind and the body, is that you are listening to your mind is coming up with a thought, you are feeling it in your body, and then we believe as yoga teachers, as students of yoga, that there is an inner guide, there is an inner voice. Some people religiously believe that, you know, that is the voice of God or intuition, whatever it is you believe is fine, secular or religious. But we all have an inner voice that's guiding us. We all know what's right for us, but we have to tune in and know how to feel it. And so that is all I'm simply doing, and I'm combining coaching and consulting with the methods that yoga therapy teaches us. So I hope that was helpful. If you would like to do consulting with me, my prices are very reasonable. I do phone consulting. I'm working on the Skype. I live out in the middle of nowhere on a big farm, and so I'm not quite sure how that quality is going to be with the internet and everything, but I can Skype, I can phone, I can email, and my rates are reasonable, and I usually save people more money than it costs to work with me for an hour. So, all right, take care. Bye.